Lights Lounge, your weekly home for all things Las Vegas Lights FC. We're here every single week in 2025. You can join us for a deeper dive into everything that happens on the pitch, including match previews and analysis alongside a new guest every single episode. Next up, the team's back on the road against Orange County SC. The Lights have already played in Irvine, California once this season, a 3-0 win in the Jägermeister Cup, and we'll be hoping for the same in the league. The most recent news is the most dramatic game of the year. At FC Tulsa, the team mounted a crazy comeback, but unfortunately fell just short at the end of a 4-3 thriller. So alongside me today to chat about all of this, I have the man who inspired that comeback, defender Shawn Smart. Shawn, welcome to the lounge.
Thank you for having me. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
After a few audio issues, we've fixed it all. So me and Shawn have had plenty of time to chat and give him a heads up on some of this stuff. So we're going to drill down on some good stories. But before we get to your journey and how you got here, let's talk about the games. So let's talk about FC Tulsa first. You answered some questions for us after the match. You were talking to Gabriel and giving us some media availability answers. And you spoke about the team just losing focus in some key moments, and that being what ultimately cost the team. Now with some distance, and maybe you've watched the match back and talked about the match with Gio, do you still feel that same way about how the game went down?
Yeah, I would say so. First and foremost, it starts with me. The last goal we conceded, the whole reason we were in a set-piece situation was because I lost the ball. Because just a simple lack of concentration in the moment, you know? And then at that point, it's just a domino effect. Set piece, we've conceded last-minute set pieces. You know, this isn't the first time, so yeah, just disappointing to lose points on the road like that, but
yeah,
what can you do?
Such is how it goes. Yeah, I think you're referencing right before the ball comes over the top, you're on essentially like a 3v3 or 4v3 break.
Happens quick.
Yeah, and then you just take a heavy touch, it gets cleared the other way, boom, there's a set piece, and now you're down 4-3. But such is how it goes. It's funny, it's a 90-minute game, but it comes down to like individual moments like that will swing the result either way, that you can look back on with 20/20 hindsight, right?
No, of course, but like, dang.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you feel like went well, though? Because obviously it's disappointing to lose a game like that on the road in the rain after coming back and leading 3-2 late in the match, but what were the positives to take away from the performance?
3 goals on the road.
Sure.
It's not bad. I feel like the performance, it was solid on both sides of the ball. It's not hard. It's not easy to win a game when you concede 4 goals.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes, though. There's definitely a lot of things we can improve on. I feel like the team's chemistry is coming together. I don't want to blame the officiating, but, sometimes that's just how it is. But a lot of good things from the match, honestly.
Yeah, I think some clear frustration with the officiating as it goes through, just with the imbalance in yellow cards and stuff, but I won't get you fined on the podcast today. So let's talk a little bit about some of the attacking momentum, especially from your side, especially playing in the system that we played in that Tulsa match. It's pretty key that you on the right side and Gennaro on the left side are super involved as attacking wingbacks and providing that width and providing some of that attacking thrust, which for me was a major positive takeaway from Tulsa, was that how heavily involved you and Gennaro were. Before we get to your 2 goals, you nearly assisted Stefan on potentially game of the season early on in the game. Pearson pings the ball out wide to you, you chest it down, lob your defender, and then Steph nearly scores a bike. Talk me through that chance and what you were, because on the replay you have a big reaction to that goal going, or that shot going right past the post.
I just get excited. Steph, he almost scored a great goal.
Yeah, it would have been a good assist as well. Yeah, it would have been a good assist as well.
It would have been.
Let's talk about your first goal though, which is the team's second goal. So the team obviously go down 2-0 inside 16 minutes, which is a tough hit to take, but then you bounce back and equalize at 2-2. Johnny scores on a deflected goal, and then you score with essentially the last kick of the first half. I went back and watched this. It's a 16-pass build-up. We basically have the ball for 50 seconds straight, the entire last minute of stoppage time, and it's you and Gennaro that connect for it. So first off, just talk me through the goal from your perspective and how you saw that entire play develop.
I remember me being a little inside, and Malik was a lot higher up the pitch than he is usually.
Mm-hmm.
And Elias hits a ball. Johnny chests it down to Malik. Malik, like, wins his duel.
Yeah.
Gives it to Patrick. Patrick toe pokes it to Gennaro.
Yeah.
Gennaro slides it to me. And we scored. Yeah, like, everybody was just there at the right place at the right time, and everybody was eager to win their duel in the play and leading up to the goal. Thankfully, I was able to put it in the goal.
Fair enough. Attacking pattern-wise, though, I mean, it's you and Gennaro that end up as the two furthest advanced players next to Steph right on top of the 18. Is that an attacking pattern in training that Gio's encouraging, like giving you and Gennaro that freedom to release and attack the box? Just talk me through that.
100%. It wasn't necessarily a pattern, but, you know, first and foremost, Gennaro's a really good player. It just, we play on completely opposite sides of the field, so we don't really get to link up often. But in the moment, we've been playing together for a year and change now. Yeah. So, you know, in that moment, like, he just trusted me with the ball, and he just was able to get it to me. I just took a touch and hit it. Yeah. I wouldn't say it was scripted, or it was just, sometimes things happen in a footy game, you know? And you just moments, literally. You just feel it. Like, there's no prediction from the beginning when Elias kicks the ball, like, oh, there's a chance I might. It's just reaction the whole way through.
Yeah.
At least for me and how I see the game.
Yeah, because you're involved in that build-up, and then, like, as that play develops, you're just sort of drifting inside, and that's the feeling you're talking about of just, like, finding this space based on instinct, and then you find yourself in good areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it also says something about the way Gio has the team set up, just like you don't need to get into specific tactics, but just like in general, Gio has made the team into a more free-flowing, more attacking side, and maybe has like released you and Gennaro and other players a little bit to express yourself in the final third and take some big risks, leave Malik and Elias and Nate on an island to defend. Speak to that a little bit.
I wouldn't say island, you know, we help out to defend a little bit.
No, sure. I just mean, like, if you and Gennaro are going to bomb forward, there's a trust that if Elias is left one-on-one with a player, there's a trust in him to deal with that problem, just like there's a trust in Johnny to score goals and you to overlap, right? Like, he's paid to defend, so.
No, of course. Jova, first and foremost, like, his trust in us is felt from the top, through the spine of the team, you know? He's definitely has given us a really big confidence booster, and I feel like our performances recently is a reflection of that. I feel like he's been able to orchestrate the team into this unit that all the energy is going towards the same direction now. Not before, but we were evolving all the way up until this point, and now we're starting to find, you know, relationships within the team. The guys are starting to get along better. I'm sorry. And yeah, like, it just translates on the field, honestly. Like, there's not many differences from what we were doing before to what we were doing now. But I feel like a lot of the actions that we're doing are intentional. Yeah. And that's the most important thing for me. Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's talk about goal number 2 for you, which is we go into halftime, all the momentum, come back out in the second half, putting in a really good performance, putting Tulsa under a lot of pressure, and the goal eventually comes in the 67th minute. That's an interesting build-up as well. So just talk me through what you saw happen on the second goal.
Val came out of nowhere. Like, I was going to run into the space. Val just... Yeah. Then I was like, well, he's doing, you know, like, makes my job easier. I just get to wait and see what happens. I'm not tall, so I'm not going to run into the box to try to hit it. And yeah, I just tried to anticipate the ball, thinking, what if the deflection comes out, and then keeper tipped it right to me. Just tried to just nudge it just with my shin.
Yeah. I mean, I think both goals are sort of that same thing that you mentioned earlier, where you just talk about that level of instinct as you see a play develop, just putting yourself in good areas. It doesn't always pan into a 2-goal performance, but Val does the underlap that would normally be where you end up, and so you just drift into this area by instinct, feeling like, okay, it could come out to me here, and then it makes it look in the game like you're just right place, right time, but it's that putting yourself in the right area over and over and over again, and eventually those things fall to you. So
Yeah, it's just consistently asking yourself the question, what if?
yeah,
What if and believing.
right.
Literally. Yeah.
And you got a good answer to what if twice in this game, so fair enough.
Thankfully.
Overall, just talk me through your overall takeaways on this game. Obviously we've talked about a little bit about the disappointment of that lack of focus and losing the results, but scoring 2 goals, showing a good attacking performance, maybe cleaning up a little bit of that to move forward. What do you take from this game?
Just motivation into the next one.
Fair.
And on a personal note, being able to score 2 goals in any game, it's a blessing, Not everybody can say that. But for me, it's just, I'm not really a numbers guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a numbers guy my whole career. So just take these moments as they come. Just try to be present and not really change too much in how I do things, and try to score 2 more.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Orange County really quickly, and let's talk about the game coming up on Saturday. This is going to be the 3rd game of the season against Orange County. Las Vegas has beaten them both times. First was Knight Pickering's 93rd minute winner, which was 1-0 here at home early in the season. That was like the 3rd game of the season. And then a 3-1 win away in the Jägermeister Cup. I think I said 3-0 in the intro, but it's actually 3-1. First, I just want to know why you feel like the team's seen good success against Orange County. Is it matchup specific, or is this just how football goes?
That's just how football goes. Tulsa could be saying the same thing about us.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. Sack as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, when you beat a team once, the confidence going into the next game, it's way easier than going into a game, losing to this team prior and putting that a little bit extra pressure.
Right.
The most important thing is just playing the game itself, not the occasion necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's probably honestly good advice as you get into the second half of the season as well. Like as you start pushing for playoff spots, games can start to take on more pressure because you feel like, oh, this is a 6-pointer. Like we're playing Orange County, who's right next to us in the table, and it's a big deal. And but ultimately, this Orange County game means the same as that Orange County game in the 3rd game of the season, and you have to approach both games with the same sort of mindset and not let that like artificial pressure get to you that's created by like an end of season scenario.
Yeah. Jova has done a really good job of instilling that in us, just making every game a war.
Yeah.
Essentially, because that's the way it should be, at least if we want to win.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, you just got to go put yourself in there for 90 minutes. Quickly, on that first Orange County game, that's that 93rd minute Knight Pickering winner.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to, because I've gone back and watched it a couple of times, and obviously Knight, Gennaro get the numbers on that. But that play starts with, it's like the last play of the game. There's 20 seconds left in the game. There's a long clearance in, and it starts with you because you take that little chest down and then play into Malik. Malik plays into Val. Val plays to Gennaro, and then the ball goes over the top. But that's a real easy decision for me, that 20 seconds left in the game, let me just freaking head this clear, and we'll see out this 0-0 draw. But instead, you kind of take it down in sort of a risky area. Yeah. So talk me through that. You've got a lot of facial expressions right now for our audio listeners, but...
I'm just laughing because I'm thinking of my dad right now, because after the game, he was actually in town for that game. And right after the game, like, yeah, we're happy we won, but I'm not really thinking of the play. You're just thinking of the moment. We just won. Let's go. I go see my dad. He's just like, that place, just follow your son. That place started with you. Proud of you, And then I was talking to Joe Zhao a little bit. Joe Zhao and I, and like my dad, we're cool. Joe and I have a good relationship off the field. And then we were just kind of chatting after the game, and he was just laughing because, like, as a... you just don't think of yourself in a moment like that. Like Knight just scored a goal, 90th minute. I believe his family was in town.
His family
for that,
was in town. Yeah.
Like it's not even about
Yeah.
me necessarily. So that's why I laughed when you asked the question, because like that's just been a running joke between my dad and I and Joe and I. Like, oh, like that's such a dad thing to say. Like, oh, it's all about
that
you.
play started with you. Yeah.
But you just bringing that up here, it's like, dang, maybe people do recognize like it was a pretty good build up to the goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Tulsa, that you're like, I'm not a big numbers guy. Like, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, okay, Gennaro gets the assist on that. So, like, at the end of the season, when Gennaro looks at the season, it's like, oh, I've got an assist. And it's a very good assist from him.
I mean, rightfully, that was a great ball.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, in any build-up, there are, like, constant decisions being made that aren't reflected in that stat column. And I think that's what you're getting at, is, like, making good decisions, playing well every time. All of that contributes to it, and that's a good example of one decision that you made that creates that game-winning scenario. And if you just decide to head that clear and don't take it down, the game ends 0-0 and off we go.
Yeah.
So that's how football is. Quickly before we end our analysis section of the pod here, what do you see from the Orange County matchup? Have you guys talked about that at all, or has it mostly been Tulsa game review to this point in the week?
Mostly Tulsa game review.
Yeah.
We know what we've played them twice already.
Right.
So the preparation for the game, it's not like we've never seen them before. I feel like now it's just getting our heads right, getting our bodies right, and just everybody's energy going in the same direction going into the weekend. But, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. For you individually, what's your biggest focus going into this Orange County game? Is there anything within your game and within the tactics of the team that you're focused on executing really well right now?
Just being consistent and being in the game for 90 minutes straight. I feel like throughout the season, I personally think that, dang, don't kill me, guys. Like,
cut.
Do you do that?
Not usually, so this is going to be in.
Yeah, like,
Tough luck.
I mean, it's not the big deal, bro. Like, we'll be on point for about 40% of the match, and for the rest of this, for 60% of the match, it's like, in another game, it'll be 60.
Yeah.
And that 40% will kind of lose a little concentration,
Yeah.
90% versus Tulsa, that little 10%, and like from minute 0 to minute 90, just focus, concentration, putting everything into the duels. That's what it takes to win any game, and I feel like if you're doing that consistently more than the opponent, you're putting yourself in a good position to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not easy at all.
No.
Like, that is hard to do it every single week, but that's why some of these guys are the best at what they do, because they can just turn it like a switch and just...
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I think what you're getting to there is the mental fatigue that a 90-minute game takes. Like, if you play a full 90-minute game and you are... Because, like, even when you're not on the ball and the camera's not on you, right? Like, you're shouting at Malik or Eunice or whoever's playing next to you. You're shouting at your winger ahead of you. You're constantly evaluating decisions and making, like, micro decisions throughout the game. And that, like, that level of concentration for that long takes a lot out of you. Does it take you a while after the game to, like, come down from the adrenaline of, like, being, like, super... Is it hard to fall asleep when you go home?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't go to bed until, I would say, like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
That's good. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Just because you're too wired. Like, there's no way to shut your brain down.
Yeah. I mean, some nights it's easier to sleep.
Yeah.
It just depends on the game, honestly. Like, the weather, Vegas heat, for example, like, it feels like you're just exposed to the sauna for an extended period of time, and then you go home and, like, your body heat is just like your muscles, you just feel crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm a humidity guy, so playing on the East Coast, it's easier to, like, adjust physically wise. But just going to bed after games, it honestly just depends where we are, because I've had nights where I'm in bed by midnight. Other nights it's 3 a.m. It just honestly depends. But
yeah.
I love to sleep. I love to sleep.
And it's like one of the most critical recovery tools is actually getting a good night of sleep, which is challenging after a game to like get like a good 7-8 hours and let your body recover. And getting to bed on time and sleeping. So,
100%.
all right, let's jump away from the game stuff. I want to talk a little bit about your story, and I want to leave us enough time to do that because I'm really interested, and I think you have a fascinating story to this point coming to Las Vegas.
Thank
so let's start all the way from the beginning. I was going to say you're from Apopka, Florida, but off camera we've confirmed that your hometown is Apopka, Florida, but you were born in the Bronx.
Yes.
And that's where your parents are from. Your father's Jamaican, your mother's Puerto Rican. Tell me about that and about the influence that the Bronx and your parents' upbringing in the Bronx has on you as a person.
I would just say, like, I came to Florida when I was young. I don't really have any memory of New York, honestly, but as I've gotten older, I've just been able to collect my own perspective of, you know, my family and what they've been through in their lives, etc. And just, you know, you see like a traditional New York person, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, that exists. And I look at my mom, I'm like, dang.
Yeah,
you know,
a bit of a stereotype.
Yeah, I would say, and like nothing bad with a stereotype, but I feel as long as you're confident enough to embrace it, that's the most important thing, you know. And like, I feel like the New York swag is just really cool, and it fascinates. It inspires me, you know. I'm not afraid to say it. And like, if you see me with my little Yankee hat, my little Yankee shirt, jersey, you know, it's just because I'm just representing what came before me.
Yeah. What was it like growing up once you moved to Florida? It's you and your older sister, correct?
Yeah.
And your parents. What was that like growing up outside of soccer?
I have a brother as well.
And
my mom has 3 kids.
Okay.
Just 2 with my dad.
Yeah.
But I grew up with my sister. My brother's a lot older than I am.
Okay.
He's 33. But I had an amazing childhood, honestly.
Outside of soccer, what was it like, or was it always very soccer heavy, kind of dating back to your memories?
Like what age?
I don't know, as far back as you can remember. You know, like were you always playing soccer? Were you playing other sports, and there was a point where you decided to stick with soccer, or what was the sitch?
I started playing soccer when I was 3. The only reason I started playing was because my sister was playing, and I would just go to her games, and I'd be like, "Yep, I could do that." And
as it tends to go with younger siblings, right?
Yeah, I think like the next week, like my parents just signed me up, and boom, I just was a soccer player, and there wasn't really much looking back at that point. I fell in love with it when I was young, and I wasn't really interested in the other sports growing up. Although I participated in a lot of other sports, like, you know, in the community, you know, school, not playing for the school basketball team, but just like, you know, a couple buddies playing basketball or football or whatever, but not anything recreational or organized. But I'm a soccer guy. There wasn't much.
Was your dad coaching you? Was your mom coaching you?
My dad, I don't come from a soccer family, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I'm a very much first-generation soccer player.
Okay.
Well, my sister and I.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I've been taught and exposed to has been experienced for, like, the first time for me and my family. Like, you know, my dad played, like, a little basketball, a little baseball. You know, my mom, she hasn't touched anything in her life, you know. So, they were just very big supporters of me, and they just saw how much I loved it, and they just wanted to back me the whole way through. Yeah.
So at what point did it become serious? Like, at what point did it go from, like, oh, I'm playing, like, little kid soccer to, like, you end up at Orlando City's academy? What comes before that?
I played at Florida Rush.
Okay.
I joined them, I think, when I was, like, 6 years old, 7 years old. Loved it. Played there until I was, like, 14 before I joined Orlando's academy. Just a lot of my life has just consisted of just showing up and playing soccer, bro. Like, all of my memories as a kid, or most of them at least, pertain a soccer trip, you know, going to a tournament here, 3v3 tournament there, just making it my life, because...
And your sister's playing at the same time, too,
right?
Know, so it's like, so if you're not at your games, your sister's games.
Like, it was just consistently busy, and I didn't really know I thought it was normal because I was experiencing it for the first time, and then I would show up to school on Monday like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? I had a soccer game.
Yeah.
You play soccer? You know, it's like, it was just...
Nothing like those youth soccer tournaments, too, where you played, like, 5 games in a weekend if you made the final. And
Those
just,
are the
like,
best, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, probably my best friends and I as a kid, still friends to this day, like, talk about how we want to do it when we retire. Just, like, go to ESPN, Wild World of Sports, and just sign up for a 3v3 tournament and just play it, bro.
Constantly.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, it's the...
And when you were a kid, too, it was like, you didn't care about recovery. You didn't care about... You were just like, you could play literally all day until they dragged you off the field.
Literally.
And just go to school on Monday and, like, do it all again.
Literally.
So you end up leaving Florida Rush. You go to Orlando City's academy for a year, right? And we were talking off camera that you actually overlapped with Eddie, with Edison Ascona for a time, for maybe a week.
Literally. He's an 03, I'm an 04. We were on the same team for about a week, but he was just, I think it was just a numbers thing. Like, he played a couple scrimmages with the U15 team, but he went back up to his age group. And, but for that short week, we were dorming at the Montverde dorms because that's where we were staying at for the preseason. And met him. Didn't see him until literally Tucson. He just walked in dinner and I was like, I've seen you before. Like, what's up?
Yeah, you're like, I saw you when you were 14 years old, and now you both are like fully adult, like professional soccer players. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how small the soccer world is sometimes. 100%. With that stuff.
And like, you just don't, especially if you don't follow people as they come and go, like, you just never know. Stefan. He just, like, I have friends that are from Senegal that are friends with other guys on Tulsa that I was able to meet in high school just playing.
Yeah.
Meet Stefan in that group. Stefan comes up in the dorm, or like the sanctuary parking lot. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, yeah, bro, I'm on your team. I'm like, you just got here, bro. Like, it just happens so fast, and like, yeah, it's exciting though. Like, you could tell from my expressions, like, the whole concept of just being able to do something you love, and making good relationships along the way, and just kind of carrying that with you. Somebody told me football is like it's a good analogy that I heard. It's like, it's like a train. Like, you get on the train, people get on, people get off, but you're just on your way to wherever you're going, and people come and go, and like, it's just very new to me. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's cool that, like, there's nothing like the bond you get from, like, being on a team with someone. Like, you use like every game's like going to war, like that analogy that Jova uses, and then it's like when you just like have the type of like bonding with teammates, and you're like spending so much of your time here every day and like going to war with them every Saturday. It's an interesting bond that you develop with these folks, and then you might be teammates with them for a year, and then they'll go their separate way, and they'll have different experiences for 5 years, and then you end up back on the same team, back on the same train at some point.
100%. And like, as the season goes on, you get to know people better.
Yeah.
You understand why they're doing things and why they are the way they are, and what has made them become the person that they are. And it's just fascinating. And then 5 years later, boom, it's an even more evolved person. And
Yeah, it's cool. To get us back on track, back to high school. let's rewind again. So you
I
end
do
up.
that a lot. I'm sorry.
It's good. You end up leaving Orlando City, and going to high school at Montverde. For SEMA, which is the Soccer Institute at Montverde Academy. That's where you do your high school years. Talk to me about the decision to go to SEMA, which Montverde is a very famous Soccer Institute and just general academy. A lot of players have come out of this program. Talk to me about the decision to do your high school years there. And then I have plenty of questions about SEMA in general, so we're going to stick on this for a little bit.
Honestly, it wasn't really my decision. My dad kind of made it for me. I feel like he saw the route for me a lot clearer going to Montverde at that age. He just felt like the level was higher, and he felt like the academic side and the athletic side just,
Yeah.
it was just a safer option. My sister also went to Montverde as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's 4 years older than I am, and yeah, it was just a lot more convenient and comfortable option considering, like, she's already going there.
Yeah.
She just graduated, and the flow of how things were structured,
Mm-hmm.
My parents, they're separated,
Yeah.
but they both lived in Florida in the same town, and it was a really smooth process. They were very cool about the whole thing, and like it was a lot more convenient just going to Montverde. So
yeah. So talk to me about what Montverde is. Just like for someone that doesn't know what we're talking about, like how is the Montverde Academy structured? What is the setup there?
like there's 10 teams, at least when I was there.
Okay.
There's 10 teams, and they go from the names of the teams change every year, but Sema Gold is the team that I was on. That was a team with just the highest team, I guess.
Yeah.
It was assembled. That's the way I like to say it, because just the odds that we were all put together at that time for those years, it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, so whole high school attached to it, right? So like you've got all these people going to high school, and then you've got 10 different men's
teams. It's very
teams.
similar to IMG.
Yeah.
Like literally IMG's cousin. It's just IMG is a lot more modern.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was able to develop a lot of perspective. There's like 103 countries represented at that high school. So imagine, like, here, what's up? I'm from Japan. I'm from Brazil. I'm from Turkey. I'm from, I'm just a kid from Apopka. Just walking into school and playing with these players who are from Senegal, Ghana, Brazil, Spain. And it's like, wow, this is just a lot different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel that because I had a similar experience going to play college soccer because I played D2 college soccer, which is heavily international. And like, I walked into a heavily international locker room, and that really shaped my worldview. Like, playing with and living with and getting to know like these guys from England and Spain and Brazil and Chile and all these different places, it like changes your perspective on the world a lot when you form these close relationships. And you got that at an even more influential age, at the high school age, and you quickly learn a lot about yourself and a lot about the world by like having those types of international relationships, for lack of a better word.
No, 100%. I went there thinking, I was a cocky 14-year-old kid thinking, like I was the best, or thinking I was the best on my team, and going into an environment where I was the youngest, I was the least talented, and I talked the most, and I was just able to experience a professional environment at 14. A lot of people will say like, oh, but for me and what I've experienced, kids going to some of the best clubs in the world from this little high school, so I felt like it was a little bit deeper than just a traditional high school team.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're playing with a lot of older kids, especially as a freshman and sophomore, right? And that's the value of a place like that, or an MLS Academy or a USL Academy, when coaches can identify a player that has a lot of talent and chuck them in the deep end with U17s, U18s, U19s as like a 15, 16-year-old kid, and you quickly become a better player that way. And I think that's what happened with you, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I would say that my competitiveness wouldn't stand me getting bullied the way I was getting bullied. Like, we're all friends to this day. We laugh about it, and then, the guys know. But I was thrown in the deep end at a young age, and it was my love for the sport. Everything I kind of stood for with soccer was being tested on a daily basis, and I would go home crying, passing against the wall in my garage, just like, tomorrow I'm gonna, and just every 6 months of that, Christmas break, and then COVID hit, and that's when I was able to catch up. I was like, yes, well, not yes, but I had a period of time where I knew what the level was, and I knew what I had to get to, and everything was literally paused. And I've heard so many stories about guys who are like, COVID screwed me over.
Yeah.
This school stopped reaching out to me after, and for me, COVID was a little bit of time to, up my game and be able to turn things around and, you know, turn things around to the point where by my senior year I was able to captain SEMA Gold, you know,
Yeah.
and I say that with a lot of proudness because it wasn't easy what I was asked to do at like 14, and I feel like a lot of 14-year-olds wouldn't have survived in that environment.
Do you feel like that now being a pro athlete and sort of, because I think you learn a lot about yourself by getting thrown into an environment like that where it's very sink or swim, like it's either play well or down to the next level of team you go, right? Which is the same in the professional game. It's like play well or you're not going to have a contract here and it's time to look for a new team. Do you feel like that experience as a young high schooler has like prepared you to go on to Clemson, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and then go on to the professional game and like be able to survive when you're thrown into a competitive environment?
No, 100%. I was in an environment where college wasn't even an option. And Clemson, I hold so dear to my heart. Like, love Clemson, love everything it stands for. But, you know, in my head, I'm next to Mbake Fall, and I'm next to Ali Fadal. Barcelona, Valencia, I'm like, you guys are on that type of time, you know? This is what I have to bring on a Monday after the weekend, after just being at home, you know? So my mind was switched on to how sharp I had to be and, like, how on point I had to be, literally, because, you know, I feel like there's a lot of environments out there where you're able to survive and still kind of, you know, cut a lot of corners.
Yeah.
But Montverde was an environment where there was zero. Like, zero. I had to shave. I had to tuck in my shirt. I had to, you know, do everything.
By the book.
It prepared me for an environment like Clemson where not a lot of people are exposed to that before college, you know? And I feel like that contributed to a little bit of success I was able to have at Clemson, but Montverde changed my life.
I think that's really fascinating too, because that is ultimately the hidden part of being a professional athlete. That it's like, yeah, you got to go perform on game day and score goals and all that kind of stuff, but you also have to just show up every day, like do your treatment, be on time to meetings, do the extra work, do the gym sessions. Like it's a sort of monotonous routine being a professional athlete, but you have to have that sort of discipline that it sounds like Montverde taught you at a young age.
Montverde and Clemson.
And Clemson, yeah. We'll get to Clemson. Before we move on from Montverde and SEMA, I'm curious to hear, is there any memory that sticks out from your time at SEMA that really kind of sums up what the experience was like there, or was just something that sticks out in your brain?
2.
Okay.
Because they go hand in hand, because there's an annual tournament that Montverde has called MAST. It's just a soccer tournament. We'll invite teams from the world, the community, whatever. My sophomore year, my first year, we had like a round-robin tournament with like Jacuipense in Brazil, FC Dallas, and FC Dallas, like the U19s for all those teams, and us.
Yeah.
And we played Dallas first, won, Jacuipense won, and we played, what team did I say?
And you're a sophomore playing with the U19s. Yeah?
I wasn't starting that year.
Yeah.
But I was I started against Jacuipense.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the only game I played 90. But I was coming off the bench in the first game, the last game, and the third game I didn't play.
Yeah.
And that was my first time experiencing that. But for my teammates, this is the World Cup final. This is the Champions League final times 10. And I love that because I'm a competitor, and I'm not afraid to say it, because there's nothing wrong with just trying your best.
Yeah.
You know? So the build up to this tournament where, you know, we're flying, training's fun, and we ended up losing the final. We got a red card, 4-1 versus FC Dallas in the final, and just seeing the seniors just crying, knowing it's their last opportunity to play for SEMA, and how much it meant to them. And then COVID hit, and then boom. And I'm like, wow, like, this is something that I could get behind, you know? So COVID happens, junior year. we lose in the final again to like Weston's Academy.
Oh yeah.
And like just unlucky senior year. This was also like a different type of year because COVID and like just a return to play. It was just not what we were used to.
Not a normal year that.
But by my senior year, Mass is back to normal. My senior quote was, "We're gonna win Mass this year," and just the whole year just aiming it towards that one weekend tournament. And yeah, we ended up winning my senior year, and like it means nothing in the pro world, and it means nothing in the college world or anybody's world for that matter. But for me, winning that tournament and just like doing it not only for the guys that I was with, but just like the guys who never got to experience winning that and how much it meant to them. It was just such a cool feeling because like it's just the circle of football, I guess you could say. Like just that in itself is a chapter of my life, just from sophomore to senior year in that tournament, you know?
Something about having like a very tangible target that you're building towards, and as a senior it's your last chance to do it, right? And like the pressure that brings, but that makes you a better person, better player, and like having that target that like we're going to hit this, and then hitting it feels really good. Who'd you play in the final? Do you remember? Surely you remember.
Honestly, it was some random team.
Oh yes, it wasn't like a big FC Dallas name or something. Yeah.
No. But things changed after my sophomore year. So, the teams that were coming to play us, it wasn't the same as it was. Things were different compared to my senior year and sophomore year. Yeah. But the trophy, bro, it did not matter. It really didn't matter, man. Like, it was special the whole way through.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any coaches, mentors that were influential to you during that time at SEMA?
There's a couple. Yeah. Mike Patempa, first and foremost. He's the one who kind of started my whole soccer career, to be honest.
In what way?
I don't know if I would be here today without Mike Patempa because, when I was 15 playing in Orlando's Academy, I could have went the other way and played in Orlando's Academy and gone through the system, and maybe things would have worked themselves out, maybe things wouldn't have, but he just saw a kid who loved what he did, and he put me into an environment where he knows it was going to challenge me, and he knew I was going to struggle, but he stuck by my side and instilled that trust in me and confidence in me, and just kept it simple for me and said, if you want to achieve your dreams, this is what you have to do. And I just did what he said. And just seeing my life unfold in the present moment, not a day goes by where I don't think about the kid that I was, and I had no idea where soccer was going to take me when I was 14. I was just a kid playing and having fun. I didn't know that's like the professional life. I knew it existed, but it was just a far 1% chance that I would ever be able to shake something with soccer. Yeah. So he was the person who was able to flip the switch. Like, listen, man, like you're not bad. Like if you do this and this, you could make something happen. So I would say him. Gucci and Yewu, he was working with us my sophomore year. And it was funny because Gucci and Yewu...
Yeah, former U.S. men's national team center back. So.
I didn't know... I'm young. I'm 2004 born. I honestly didn't know who he was.
Oof.
So I have a class, and I have to do an interview for this class. And it was a person that you admired. And throughout the season, everybody's like, yeah, this is Gooch. I'm like... dang, let me do my research. Like, this is crazy. There's just no way. I don't know who this guy is. So immediately, reality check. It's okay. I'm in the presence of a very credible soccer player. Yeah. Let me interview him. And he fills in for training every now and then. Just if a coach is sick or something, he'll just pop in and help out. But in one session, you could just tell how much experience he has, just teaching guys the fundamentals of defending. And there was also another just time where I was doing a rondo and I was getting bullied in this rondo. Like, these guys are passing it hard to me on purpose, and I'm in the middle. It's like before a game too. Like, I'm just getting tortured. And he was there just watching, and Gooch speaks like 4 languages, and like the kid spoke French, and he comes up and he just, I don't know what he said to them in French, but he just stood up for me in that sense. He was like, "How old are you?"
Yeah.
"How old is he?" "You're 19. He's 14. You know, like, give him a break. Just give him a break, you know? And, like, just from that small interaction, I realized, you know, like, okay, this is good people, you know? So, yeah, like, every now and then, if I ever have a question, I'll call him. But not him.
Not a bad guy to have on speed dial to have some perspective and some advice, yeah?
Yeah, I know. He's seen it all. He actually played with Antonio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was beginning of the season. I asked Antonio, I was like, "Did you know Gooch?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's my guy." You know, like, we played. Yeah, tell him I said hey. You know.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Leo Jimenez. He's former Venezuela national team player.
Mm-hmm.
He's played against Ronaldinho, some of the best players in the world, and had a I think played like 13 years, 14 years professionally. He was my coach at 15 years old. Not a bad person to have around when you're at these crucial ages of development,
Yeah.
you know? Carlos Pedraza. There's so many names.
Stressed about leaving someone out
There's
now.
so many names, honestly, because that whole community, La Familia is what we go by. It's just a family. Every single person involved played their part, from the kitman to the physio to the lunch lady to whoever.
Mm-hmm.
The dorm parents, everybody was a part of making it special.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously that shapes you, and then as you're a senior, you're captaining the team, you're captaining SEMA Gold, and you're starting to think about what your next step is beyond this place that you've been for the last 3 years. How does Clemson come into the picture, and what was your process for deciding what your next step was going to be beyond SEMA?
Well, luckily enough, I was able to commit to Clemson. I was verbally committed to Clemson when I was a junior.
Okay.
And I did that like after Christmas, I'd say, that year, or whenever recruiting was able to open up. Gooch went to Clemson. He was like, you're going to go to college? Go to Clemson. You know, kept it real simple. And yeah, like Mike Potempo went to Clemson. And I played with Ousmane Silla, Hamidi Diop. They went to Clemson. And everything was just steering towards Clemson, you know? Funny story. When I was first looking at schools, I wanted to go to Wake Forest because that's where my sister went to school. She played soccer.
She did well for herself at Wake Forest as well.
Yeah.
Scored 11 goals your senior year.
Yeah.
She did it right.
She is... Shayla. But yeah, I wanted to go to Wake, and I had a call, but I was out eating at a friend's birthday party. This is my fault, 100%. But I took the call in front of my friends, and they didn't really realize the importance of my phone call. And my friends, being who they are, they're just like, they're just making these noises, just like talking, you know. And I'm like, maybe this isn't the best time. Like, I didn't think my friends would do that. One friend in particular, I didn't.
He knows who he is, right?
Yeah, 100%. I hang up. Jelani Forbes, my good friend, I grew up with him, plays at Wake Forest as well, and I was just texting him, and I was like, bro, I had a call with the coach, and we had to reschedule it, and he's like, yeah, I spoke to him. You know, he has nothing bad to say about you. He thinks you're good and stuff, but, you know, he said, like, from that one interaction, he felt like you had a too good for college vibe to you. And my fault, 100%, you know? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's anybody else's fault other than mine, but, you know.
Yeah.
Could have been Wake in another world.
Yeah,
but
learning
maybe.
experience. Sometimes you need a little moment like that to go like a little reality check to go like, ooh, like maybe I need to approach those conversations differently, or just like
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was a goofy kid, like just hanging out with my friends, just trying to, I don't even know what I was trying to do, honestly. Like, I don't know why I took that phone call at that restaurant but on the same breath, if he wouldn't have did that, and if I wouldn't have taken the phone call, I wouldn't have went to Clemson.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be like where you are today. Maybe not a national. Maybe you would have made Wake Forest national champions.
Nah. I'm glad everything happens for a reason. I'm telling you.
Okay, so then obviously that phone call happens. Then how does the Clemson recruiting process happen, and how do you end up deciding that I'm going to do Clemson?
Phil Jones calls me. I was just training one day and took one phone call for me to be like, yeah, I like how much he wants me to go to this soccer team. And
Phil Jones is an assistant there, or
Phil Jones is the assistant there. And I was talking to a couple other schools, but in my head it was Clemson or nothing the whole way through. And the earliest I could commit, I committed. It was a very smooth process, honestly, and I was just able to focus on soccer after I committed. Just trying to get as good as I can before I went. And
it just takes that.
Honestly, I was trying to see what could shake up before I left.
Yeah.
To Clemson, maybe if I committed, and perhaps there was an opportunity elsewhere for me.
Yeah.
That I would have had to not go to Clemson.
Yeah.
Maybe in another world that could have happened. But
that's what I was going to ask. Was there ever any thought of turning professionally immediately?
100%.
Yeah.
The intent was there,
Mm-hmm.
but there was nothing on the table. So
yeah.
I just went to school and did the best that I could.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into Clemson. Let's jump into that freshman season. You jump in right away to a pretty good team. You played in 13 games. You made 6 starts. What was that first season like? What was preseason like first? Was there a level jump, or were you kind of used to it because of just your experience at SEMA? You were just like, this is the same. I'm used to being thrown into the deep end like this as a young kid.
And this is the part where I say that Clemson helped evolve me into the person that I am, because the fitness test is a 3 mile.
Okay.
So we get there in the summer, and the 3 mile is the end goal. First day of preseason, the 3 mile. The 3 mile, the seniors are the 3 mile. I get to Clemson, I'm like, 3 mile,
Sure, whatever.
We're just fit. We just get fit, play, boom, normal. My first traditional preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm trying not to stress, but at the same time, a lot of people around me are saying, the 3 mile, I hope we don't run up the hill runs, like the dike runs is what they call. I personally never had to run them, but a lot of guys who came before me, there's like these hills in Clemson, like it's steep like this, bro.
Yeah,
and these guys just run. I've only heard stories.
My little brother went to Clemson. I've spent plenty of time in Clemson. That is one hilly campus.
Bro. So I'm just hoping that I don't get injured with anything I have to do. So we ended up running the 3 mile. Was not ready for it. Like, I would say I ran it in like 20 minutes.
So
21 minutes. But minutes. The goal is 18
There's a big difference
minutes.
between 19 and 21 minutes, Shawn.
19, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But the goal is 18 minutes.
So regardless, you didn't hit the goal.
No chance. I never successfully beat the 3 mile. I just was never able to do that test. I ran it 3 times, and I trained. The beep test is a different story. That's your normal, fitness test. But the 3 mile, just nightmares, man.
Yeah.
Nightmares. But it's not really a fitness battle at the end of the day. It's a mental battle.
Right.
And that's what the coaches were able to teach us in the process of like, we're going to make you do this. It's going to be very hard.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to do it.
Yeah.
But, how much are you willing to sacrifice for what you want? If the end goal is to win, are you even going to finish the 3 miles? You know, are you even going to push yourself to the absolute max, even though mentally you're checked out? Just questions that you ask yourself that not a lot of environments will force you to ask yourself that question.
Yeah. How much does it mean to you? That's the question that you had to answer for yourself when you're like doing something like that. So you get past preseason, jump into the season. You're playing pretty straight away. You're not like a full-time starter or anything, but you're in games. You get an assist in a win over Syracuse. No, you lost to Syracuse and had an assist in that game to Isaiah Reed, who I've played with in the past, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because he's from Rock Hill. I'm from Fort Mill in South Carolina. He played at Discovery Soccer Club.
That's amazing.
He's
killing it right now.
Shout
out Drip FC.
Yeah. He was a 99. I was a 98, and the 99s and 98s trained together a lot at Discoveries, and so I played with him before he moved on to like CSA Academy and then to Clemson. But yeah, so your first college assist was to Isaiah Reed.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, and you guys were the number 1 team in the country at that point, but you lost to Syracuse, and then the season kind of maybe didn't go to plan from there. But for you individually, what was that freshman season like? Was there some pressure coming in and immediately being a part of this? Like, oh, there's expectation here. Like Clemson has an expectation of performing and being a number 1 team in the country and being at the top of the ACC, which is the most difficult men's soccer conference in the country.
No, definitely. Like being in an environment where, number 1, you're playing every weekend. Mm-hmm. And for my sophomore through senior year of high school, maybe played a game like once a month, 2 games a month, but we're just training every day. Mm-hmm. So I get to Clemson, it's like, okay, we're getting fit, and for 4 months straight, there's a game Monday, Saturday, Wednesday,
the college season is absolutely relentless.
Like Monday through, I don't even know.
Yeah,
but
you're just like in a constant state of recovery. You're just like
literally,
you're like game, and then just like try to get your body back to close to 90%, and then game. Like it's relentless.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.
But it takes what it takes, man.
Right.
But my experience freshman year, amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world. That game versus Syracuse, I actually injured my ankle pretty bad. I got like a grade 2 high ankle sprain. I was wearing medals that game. I don't wear medals anymore after this.
Metal studs, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the top half of my foot planted into the ground, and I had a player on my back, and the ball was in front, and I just tried to put my foot on the floor, and I tried to change directions, and the front of my foot kind of just got stuck in the ground, and like
it just rolls over.
Just completely rotated. That I was out for 4 weeks.
Okay, which doesn't sound like that long. Like for us, you're out 4 weeks. Like okay, you missed 4 games, but it's a 34-game season. Like it's gonna be okay. But like in college, if you're out for 4 weeks, that's like half the season at that point, and
100%.
You miss a big chunk of games. So,
but in hindsight, I definitely feel like I rushed it back, because by the time I was coming back and playing again and getting my place back in the team, I couldn't even run properly, man. And that's on me as well. My fault. I tried to do what I could to play.
I'm gonna supercut you. We're just gonna do a segment that's just like you looking to the camera and going, "My fault." Like,
my fault.
There's been a few things that have been your fault.
Honestly. But yeah, by the time I came back, I just wasn't moving the same. So the coach was like, "Yeah, probably best if we're trying to win. Just give Enrique the role." And credit to Enrique. Enrique had the best season I've ever seen from a Clemson right back, honestly. Yeah. Like,
was he a senior at the time?
Senior, yeah. Seattle Sounders Academy product. He never went pro, but Enrique's a serious player.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of took over and he finished the season, and we had a run to the ACC championship. You know, so it taught me so much through that one season. I went from not playing to playing to being injured. My first real injury in my attempt to become a soccer player.
Yeah.
And now not playing. We actually ended up going to Italy for the spring.
Yeah.
So, play the spring, come back, we have like 2 weeks to get fit before we go to Italy for like a trip abroad. And in that time, I would say, is when things started to look up in my experience at Clemson, because up until that point, they call it the freshman curve.
Yeah.
And like I got there, it wasn't bad. Taught me a lot about myself, and it made me ask myself those questions. How bad do you want it? What was I willing to sacrifice to get what I want?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I looked myself in the mirror. I said, I have to make these, I don't want to say changes, but I have to be more intentional in these areas if I want to make a career out of this. So if that means coming as close as I can to achieving the 3 mile, turning 20-something minutes into 18, screw it, I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
It was never realistic for me to pass. There was just no way. There was just no way.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm getting at. It was real.
So then going into sophomore year is obviously the big year. I mean, spoiler alert, you guys win the NCAA title at the end of the sophomore year. But I kind of want to take this sophomore year, like, step by step and, like, what the journey was towards winning that national title. So going into that year and going into that preseason, did you guys feel like, was that goal? That you felt like you had a team that could win the national title? And that were you talking about that in preseason as you started the year?
From day one.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's probably just the expectation at Clemson. Just every year, right?
I can only speak from my experience.
Sure.
But for the team that was able to achieve the national championship, from the first day everybody got on campus. When we had Alex transfer from Tulsa in the spring, and then Gael and Jerron joined us, and we just had so many guys coming, Popmar coming, Nathan.
Yeah.
We just had a team, and we're looking around like,
man,
this is special, guys. Let's not take it for granted the short period of time we have to play together. And from day one, just, this is the goal.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to achieve it, and just making magic happen.
Sure. It didn't get off to a good start, though.
No, it did not.
Yeah. I mean, you had 4 home games to start the year off, and you started off 0-2. You lost it, or no, 1-0, 1-1. You lost 2-1 to UCF, and then you tied 1-1 to UNCW. So was there a gut check stamp after those 2 games? Was there, because the college season's short, like you don't have a lot of time to make things right. So you guys haven't won a game. You're going into a rivalry game against South Carolina at home. Was there like a real pressure building to get the season turned around super quick?
Versus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And versus USF. That was the turning point of everything.
Yeah, because you start 2-2, because you beat South Carolina 2-0, you beat PC 6-0. All due respect to PC, it's not really like on the level of Clemson and the ACC.
We had lost to UCF as well.
Yeah, and you'd lost to UCF, and then you have to go on the road for your opening ACC game playing at Notre Dame. You lose that one 3-2, and then that's like where the pressure comes in.
That's where we were like, guys, this isn't going to plan. I feel like we were starting to question things. At first, we had the plan, we had the blueprint, and when things weren't going to plan, we started to go a little bit off cue, pointing fingers, questioning authority, et cetera. That's the truth. And then we lost we were losing, I believe we were down 2-0, or 2-0 versus USF.
Yeah.
And then at halftime, I'll never forget it. Gael Gibert, my guy, he gave one of the most real talks I've ever witnessed. Just one person trying to achieve something and pulling everybody by the shirt to accomplish the goal, and just looking everybody in the eye and just putting himself out there and being so vulnerable and just saying, this is my life, This is more than a game in Tampa. This is something bigger than all of us, et cetera. And we all, as footballers, we think that it kind of crosses our minds, but, it's not really talked about enough.
Yeah.
And so I feel like once we were in an environment where we were all vulnerable in terms of why we were all doing things, win 3-2 in Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you guys
then
were
from
down.
then on-
You guys were down 1-0 at half. 1-0 at half, and
Okay,
then you scored in
yeah.
the 66th and 70th minute to go up 2-1, and then they come back 79th minute and
then
make it
Isaiah
2-2.
scored. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Isaiah easily scores in like 2 minutes later to give you guys a lead, and that's a real like we're legit game. Like that's you walk out of there and go, all right, here
Let's
we go.
do it. Like,
Yeah.
we're back on track. We, you know,
Yeah, I mean, then you beat Duke 2-0, beat Gardner-Webb 7-0, lose to Wake Forest on the road, but then win, draw, win, and then you're on a roll from here, right? And then you hit the ACC tournament. The ACC tournament wasn't easy. It takes you 2 penalty shootouts to get through the ACC tournament that year.
wow.
But it was a Duke at home, and then
Yeah.
Louisville at home, which was a big win, 5-1, and then UNC and Cary for the championship,
Yeah.
for the ACC championship. But penalty shootout win over Duke, penalty shootout win over UNC. I didn't see you on these penalty shootouts. You weren't taking a penalty.
Nope.
They weren't letting you take a penalty?
Nope.
Did you want to take a penalty?
Always. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's coach's decision at the end
Sure.
of the day, and we had some good penalty takers. You know,
Where were you?
Sure.
Like, had it gone beyond, because it didn't get beyond the 5 shooters, but had it gone beyond the 5?
Seventh.
It got to the 7th. You would have been 7th?
I would have been seventh.
Okay. So, you're up there.
I'm
You
up
would've
there,
taken one.
but I want to kick, man. I want to kick. Yeah, I was a sophomore on that team.
Mm.
There's 5th years and seniors that are like, yo, back
Sit
up.
down.
Yeah, like you're
Sit
not.
down.
You're not. you
Yeah,
know, but
we're not losing this penalty shootout because of you. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of have to have that mentality, I think, like, where you're like, if we're going to lose, I'd like it to be because of me. Like, as a 5th-year senior, I would rather, like,
Exactly.
miss this than, like, let Shawn take one and then me play the what-if game of what if I'd taken a penalty kind of thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, talk me through the NCAA tournament run. What was the experience like? Because you guys were on a roll through the NCAA tournament this year. On an absolute roll.
Bro, it was perfect
Yeah.
from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
because we're in college.
Yeah.
And we're experiencing winning a big game, but getting the whole community behind these games, and then boom, now we're in class. And it's like, you know, people saying like, oh, this guy scored this goal against this team. How are you gonna? It's like, it's just a completely different experience that you would get from a normal soccer team. You know, the college structure is so cool for me.
Yeah, because it's such a focused environment, right?
Yeah,
like you're living in this community that people are really
It's so cool. And yeah, the run, it's, what can I say? It was just one game at a time. Because for me personally, it's easy to sit here and say, like, yeah, I knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
And I knew we were going to win these games because every game presented its own problems.
Mhm.
But, you know, just taking it one game at a time, and, you know, shout out the coaching staff at Clemson who were able to keep our heads and not getting too high, not getting too low, and, you know, having the fire under us, like, always,
Yeah.
top.
Yeah. I mean, to summarize, right, round of 32, you play at home, you beat UNC Charlotte 3-0, then you have to go on the road to New Hampshire, you win that one 1-0, and then Elite 8 at home, this is before, because it goes neutral site for the Final Four, but Elite 8, you guys get to play at home against Stanford. That must have been insane. You win that game 2-0. But, like, when I look at this, that game really stands out to me to be like, that must have been an insane experience, playing at historic Riggs. Good crowd, playing Stanford, who just have a ton of history as a men's soccer program. Like, that must have been electric.
Bro, the coolest thing about it was leading up to that game, I think 4 years prior, Clemson and Stanford played in the Elite 8, and Stanford won that game. And they ended up winning, and it was just a matchup of that game exactly at Riggs. That was when Robbie Robinson was there, and Malik Mbai, and, you know, a lot of the great Clemson guys that come before you, and, you know, you just hear the occasion, Stanford, Clemson, Elite 8, boom. There's just a lot of, in the college world, you know, everything is kind of rising, and then I'm looking at my phone and Operation 13K, for the game, and they're just trying to get as many students they can get to the game, and you know, just the lead up to the game made me realize okay, yeah, this is not only on a personal note, this is a very important game, but for Clemson, this is a game for Clemson, you know. And I feel like once we were on that type of time, seeing video flashbacks of the game that took place 4 years ago when my coach Mike Noonan was in charge, it's just wow, this game, if we win, this would be very good for the school, for the community, for the program, and yeah.
It's a lot of pressure to deal with as well, though. In the build-up, when you're seeing that marketing, you know there's going to be a lot of people there. How do you keep yourself grounded when you're starting to feel that way? Because it's inevitable that you're going to start feeling that anxiety as the game gets closer and closer. How did you as an individual, and how did the group deal with that?
Phil Jones told me, my assistant coach at Clemson, that confidence comes in from your preparation. And I feel like everything we were doing towards that game, but during the whole run, we were just doing it the right way. And the pressure, it's a good pressure. It's good anxiety. It's your excitement. It's why we play, you know, for games like that, for occasions like that. But on the same breath, it's okay, you have to remember not to play the occasion. It's just another game, you know. So just being able to find the gray area between, this is a very important game. I want to give everything, etc., but also not losing sight, you know. So just that's what works for me, and not getting nervous per se.
Yeah, you just got to ride that line. Use the anxiety in a good way to give you that extra edge, but then also just approach it like another game. So then you get a 2-0 win, and then you go off to Cary, North Carolina, which is where NCFC plays now. So you've been back there once, because we played away at NCFC last year, which must have been a weird experience. But before we get there, West Virginia, semifinal, 1-0 win. You score probably the goal of your career.
My career's not done. No, I'll just play
Career so far.
I'll just play it.
Career so far.
Oh, I thought you said the best. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, best goal of your career so far.
Fair,
I mean, you got time. You got plenty of time left in your career to score a better goal. But this is a pretty good goal. And it's a good goal because it's a touch in, it's a volley into the near post, upper 90. But it's also the occasion of College Cup. You win the game 1-0 off of this goal. You must be feeling on top of the world.
Yeah. It's a blessing. I mean, there's not much you don't predict things like that happen.
Yeah.
Funny story, though. The night before, I was sitting next to Aiden Hampton and across from Malik and Bai and the coaching staff, because I was the last person to walk into the restaurant, and I had to sit at the coach's table. And I sit down, and the night before the game, the Noonan's you're sitting at the coach's table, you're going to score. And Malik was Malik was he was a coach for us at the time. And he's oh, yeah, you're going to score. Aiden, I'm looking at Aiden, he's a goalkeeper. I'm well, I guess I'm going to score, you know? And so then the game goes on, and I score, and I did this whole celebration, the Jude Bellingham celebration, and I look at Malik. He's the only person in the whole stadium. Yeah. All the fans that you see on TV were just on one half of the stadium, and the other half was literally empty except him, just watching it from the bird's eye. And I see him all the way in the corner, and I just look at him, and I'm just you know, we spoke this into existence literally last night. Now, what are the odds, you know? But yeah.
That's a cool story. Yeah. So then, I mean, from there, it's just got to feel pretty destined. And it's Notre Dame as well.
Notre Dame.
Who you lost to on the road in ACC play, 3-2 earlier in the year. So it all kind of comes full circle in the final. It's this early ACC game that was a defining moment for the team earlier, a loss. You see them in the final again. How did that final go in your eyes?
It was rich, bro. It felt amazing. Because there was no other team we wanted to play. We were watching the other side of the tournament, you know, Oregon State, Notre Dame. We were
You're like
we
hoping
want Notre Dame. We
wins,
want Notre
yeah.
Dame to win this game because
Yeah.
we want to play Notre Dame because we felt like we could have won the first time around. And yeah, you know, Brandon scored a great goal. Uzi scored a great goal.
Mm-hmm.
And we conceded a penalty because of Tyler. And yeah, you know, we ended up winning the game 2-1. And
yeah, I mean, that penalty's late on in the 89th minute, which makes it 2-1, and it makes it some anxiety in stoppage time for sure. But I wanted to ask, because I was reading the recap of the game, and you guys were up 1-0 from Brandon Parrish's goal.
Yeah.
And then they rattled the crossbar in, like, the 70th minute. Was that the, like, oh, shit moment?
There wasn't any of that, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
at least for me, the game is on from whistle to whistle.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's moments where you feel like you're under it
Mm-hmm.
when you're watching the game back. But in the moment, for me, it's like, you know, how quickly can we get out of this hole? You know, like, we don't have the ball. We haven't had the ball for a while. Like,
Mm-hmm.
something needs to change, you know,
Yeah.
in this short second. So, like, when you're reacting to something like the crossbar being hit, it's like, no goal, great. I'm sprinting forward, just trying to on to the next play.
Yeah.
More so than anything, but yeah, like, there was just no doubt in my mind we weren't going to win that game
Mm-hmm.
versus Notre Dame because we all wanted it more than anything.
So, final question on the college career. Final whistle blows. What was the first thing that you did?
I ran to Uzi. Matt Kerman winner.
Yeah.
Get on. He's I went to high school with him. He's one of my best friends, and I don't know if I'd be here without his inspiration. You know, he's one of the best players that I've shared the field with, and I know how much he put into Clemson. Won 2 national championships, won a Matt Kerman, won ACC championship. The list goes on.
Yeah.
But if, you know, he spent a lot of time with me. He's met my whole family, and, you know, that's my guy. And I just ran straight to him because I'm just so happy we did it. But just seeing him fall to his knees and, like, it just hit him, it hit me more for him in the moment than, like, me realizing, like, dang, we just won the national championship. My whole family's here, you know? But yeah, imagine that. My whole family's there and I run to Uzi. But, you know, like, yeah, it was just rich. It was amazing, you know? Like, you can't write a story like that.
Yeah. And good timing on the pod then, too, because we play Uzi this weekend.
That we do. Jersey swap.
Yeah.
Coming, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But last time he played, we were able to catch up, gave him a little trim. I cut his hair before the game. Last time I played him. Yeah.
Oh, my God, it's amazing. I wish we could have had a camera in that room, but...
We were just reminiscing.
Yeah.
Honestly, just talking about how far we've come.
Yeah.
You know, he met me when I was 14. I met him when he was 16, and he went to Clemson before me. I caught up. And then he went to, well, we left school at the same time. But
Yeah.
just capping off with the national championship, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this
Cool.
is real, man.
It's cool. And then it's cool to get to play him again, right? So, Orange County on Saturday. Only one of you can't go hug him after this game. Only one of you can come out on top. So that's a good transition, I think, because you talk about you and Usman Silla leaving college at the same time, right? He's a senior, but you're a sophomore. You kind of go into the spring and you make the decision that it's time to turn pro, which is with us, with the Las Vegas Lights. Talk to me about how that came to be and how that decision came to be that, okay, I've only finished my sophomore year, I'm only an underclassman, I'm going to turn pro and I'm going to go to USL at this point in my career.
It was honestly really unexpected, bro. I had wanted to leave college after we won just because what better time, honestly.
Go out on top.
Selfishly, like, yeah, we just won. It's time. Dad, it's time. Mom, it's time. But Orlando City had my rights. I wasn't able to get drafted, and there was no team eager enough to buy my rights. Went to Clemson for the spring. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, you know, just continue. Nothing changes. try to do it again. I'm training hard. And within a week, I get a text from my now agent saying that the coach of the Las Vegas Lights wants to talk to you. Speak to Dennis Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to John. Have the contract. Tell my parents. Well, tell my mom. My dad was with me the whole way through. Tell my mom, and it's becoming real. Like, okay, this is a contract that's worth leaving college for. Tell the coaches at Clemson. They say no. I say yes. Friday, I'm packing up my stuff. Saturday, I'm back to Atlanta with my dad. Sunday, I'm on a flight to Tucson.
Join up for preseason.
Simple
straight
as
into
that,
it.
man. Yeah, simple as that.
Crazy. Life comes at you fast.
It does.
Changes fast, and then all of a sudden you're staring up rookie campaign. And I mean, at that point, you're in spring, right? Like, okay, yeah, spring season in college is really just a prep phase, kind of get the team in the right headspace and try to build some chemistry going into the following year. And then all of a sudden you're like, I've got a whole professional season that's going to start in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it was at that point. And I've got 34 games on the horizon. And you end up playing, I think, how many games did you play that rookie year? 35? You played 35 games as a rookie. I feel like that's a pretty big step on your body, because you see that a lot with guys, especially making the transition from college, when you only really play 3-4 months out of the year. A lot of it's stacked in. You don't play a high quantity of games, and then all of a sudden you're asked to play a lot of games all at once. But your body held together pretty well over the course of that rookie year. So how was that experience physically?
Thankfully, I was able to. I hadn't played that many games since I was at U15 Orlando City's academy.
Yeah.
My first time playing a whole year's worth of soccer. My body wasn't able to sustain at the end of the year. I wasn't able to finish it with the guys, but
Yeah.
Just looking at what I was able to accomplish, yeah, it was very new the whole way through. I was definitely intentional in trying to absorb all of the experience from the guys around me and just taking it all in, because in hindsight now it's like, yeah, it's crazy, it happens fast, but in the moment, it's the moment. You know, there's not much time to think about what's really going on, you know.
I'm at my first training session in Tucson. Got to impress my head coach. Here we go.
I got here injured too.
Oh, yeah.
I arrived here injured. But
yeah.
yeah.
You spoke earlier sometimes about how small the soccer world is, and you mentioned Stefan Stojanovic, who came here from Tulsa. But your first game, your very first pro game,
dunked on me.
You got dunked on the back post by Steph. I asked him about it in his pod. But I've talked to you off camera about this before, and you said, like, yeah, you got dunked on, and Imra Clementa, who was playing center back next to you at the time, just turned around and I think gave you an earful.
You think?
I mean, that's what I remember you saying.
Yeah, just
Talk
experience like that, like 19.
Mm-hmm.
Emra, a vet in the league. I think he was the captain of the team at the time for that game. And we conceded a goal. I've conceded a lot of goals in my life.
Yeah.
You know? All right, next play. Oh, my God. Just getting yelled at and just feeling like, oh, come on. Like, me? You know? And I'm not the type of guy to retaliate. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But I also don't like being wrong all the time, you
Right.
know? And in that moment, I was like, dang, I ruined everything. Like, no. And then watching it back.
Not the most glorious start to your pro career,
Yeah.
for sure.
Watching it back, I'm like, it happens. Now I just sit back and laugh at it. You
Yeah.
know? Me and
Yeah,
Emra, we're going to get coffee later this week. Like, everything is all good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's his role at that point, too, right? Like, you're a rookie, and he's like the vet captain of the team. And it's a that's not good enough moment. Better be better. Like, that's funny. What else sticks out to you from your rookie season from 2024? Any specific memories?
Qualifying for playoffs was really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that first playoff win versus SAC, it was a really cool experience. Just, it was the closest thing I felt to the build up to the national championship. Just the feeling for that one playoff game that I got to experience, you know, it was like, wow, like, this is a different game compared to the other league games that we play.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that I got injured during training that week, but, you know, it's all the motivation this year to try to, you know, avenge that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the two that stick out the most were definitely qualifying for playoffs in that first game versus Sac.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. I mean, this is kind of a full circle thing, right? It's like, you know, you get in, you play a really healthy season, you play 35 games, and then you get injured at possibly the worst part, right? And you're able to play a bit against Sac, but then aren't able to play in those 2 playoff games against New Mexico and Colorado, which is a tough pill to swallow after putting in so much over the course of a season. Does it remind you at all of Mast and SEMA and that experience sophomore year of like seeing the team fall short and kind of having that tangible goal to go, all right, we go again. Like there's a goal on the horizon here. There's something left undone. You can say no.
No. No. I want it to be, but no.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't recreate those
Sure.
feelings.
Yeah,
you know? But this year, we're just going to do what we can to achieve the goals we set out.
Yeah.
And that's to win.
Yeah.
You know, and every week we go out, we just try our best to do that.
Yeah, for sure. What did you learn about yourself as a pro that first year? What did you take into this second year? That are you doing anything differently that you learned from your first professional soccer year?
I feel like personally I'm always evolving, because naturally I'm trying to work on myself in different aspects of my life, whether it be connecting more with my family and friends off the pitch, or you know, being more intentional in the time of the day that I take a nap. Something as small as that, or how often am I seeing the physio or taking a bath or whatever. Like I said, I'm a first generation soccer player, so like, yeah, I've been blessed to have a lot of people around me to give me good advice along the way, but at the end of the day, like, it's my journey.
Yeah.
And I would be lying to you if I told you I knew everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm learning as much as I can along the way, and that's about it. My first time living alone last year, I definitely learned a lot about myself. I picked up on a lot of new habits that I had to I don't want to say like that I was afraid of working on, but just when you're alone, completely alone, it's a different ball game, because there's no background, there's no people talking, there's no roommates chatting, there's no other appliances being used. It's just you.
Yeah.
Every drop of water, it's just you. You know, just 4 walls, and just what are you gonna do when you're alone? You know, like, it's cliche as it sounds. It's like live your life as if the cameras were watching. You know, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah. How's your cooking?
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ask some of the guys.
Was it always amazing? Or
No.
did you taught yourself living alone?
Of course not. No, I do. No, I come from a family of good cooks.
Okay.
I can't lie.
You got some good influences.
100%. Some good inspiration. My dad being one of the biggest for me, just because he loves to cook as well.
Yeah.
And just watching him preparing meals and not letting me contribute whatsoever. Not that I wanted to.
Yeah.
But just, he just took such a pride in the food that he put into his body. You know, just watching that from a young age, it was like, wow, I can get behind that, you know. And now that I'm able to buy my own groceries and do my own thing and cook my own meals, it's like, okay, I'm gonna spice it up, you know. Why not take pride in it?
Yeah. All right, final 2 questions for me as we wrap up here. It's been a long one, but for you, early in your career, you're going into your second year as a pro. What's your goals in your career? What do you want to see happen for Shawn Smart as a professional soccer player?
I want to see Shawn play in the Champions League. I want to see Shawn play in the World Cup too. But that's just my perfect world.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm just going to do what I can to make that happen.
In a World Cup with who? You got a couple options.
Well, whoever.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, fair enough. Because you got the U.S. as an option, you have Jamaica as an option, you have Puerto Rico as an option, right?
Three
Yeah.
good options.
Yeah. It's good. You have flexibility on that, like, international side. A lot of, like, it would be meaningful to represent, I think, all three for you for
100%.
different reasons,
Mm-hmm.
which is, like, it's just cool. Like, you know, not everyone has, like, that flexibility and that option to represent different nations.
It's
So,
cool being able to have cultures to rely on to do stuff for.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
All three of them would be very special to me. But
Yeah.
like you said, I have a career ahead of me. Yeah, so
Mhm.
we'll see how it goes.
All right, and final one, I ask this to everyone when we wrap up, because we spend a lot of time talking about your whole life, from the time you were born all the way through to where you are now as a professional soccer player. Looking back on that and having talked through some of these experiences that were meaningful for you, is there any one experience that sticks out to you that you say, yeah, that really shaped me, like that specific experience, or maybe one or like two or three? What sticks out to you from this conversation?
I feel like just realizing my appreciation for the game at a young age. Just using soccer as my escape, and just using that as the foundation to make me the person that I am. Just using the game as an avenue to attack. Also, winning the national championship definitely was one of the most special things that I've done personally, because I don't want to say against all odds, but not a lot of people that I grew up with per se would imagine Shawn Smart winning anything at anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, those two things for sure.
Yeah, cool. Well, Shawn, thanks for being so thoughtful. It's always a good time chatting with you,
Of course.
both on and off the mic. So looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes, and most importantly, seeing how Saturday goes. So next
100%.
chance to see Shawn is this Saturday, Orange County SC, 7 p.m. kickoff. That is on ESPN Plus and Fox 5 locally. So make sure to check that out. And until next time, thanks everyone.
It's gonna fall in behind.